Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Warcraft replay. Here we have a Night Elf mirror on the map Concealed Hill. We actually have a debut on player for the channel. We have Sini, the red Night Elf player, is going to be facing off against Colorful, the blue Night Elf. Positions, I will wait until the map actually loads in. But yeah, Sini, he's a pretty big grinder on the Netease ladder. So I'm curious to see how well he plays, especially since I've heard that he actually prefers playing Orc into Night Elves instead of his main Night Elf race. Yeah, obviously since it is ladder, you can't really predict if you're gonna verse a Night Elf or not. So yeah, let's see how he does against this Colorful. We always know, pretty established player. I was gonna say on the Netease header, but also just in tournaments in general. Probably not tier 1 player, but possibly solid 2. Yeah. Let's see what he goes for, because I took a look at the hero previews and I am very curious to see how this game turns out. But yeah, Sini spawning in as the red Night Elf on the top right, Colorful blue Night Elf on the bottom left. Still need to get used to the reforged graphics, hopefully you guys don't mind. As we have a Priest of the Moon coming out here for Colorful, Demon Hunter coming out here for Sini. Pretty sure it's Sini. I don't think Chinese uses S's. They use C's for their S's, kind of, I think. Trying to think if there's the usage of S. I don't think so. I don't really want to appear like I know it or not, but I'll call him Sini for now.
I stand ready.
Ancient of War creeping on both sides of the warrior camps here. Yeah, neither heroes are super dependent on items, I would say. Maybe the priestess would like damage items. Maybe the demon hunter likes damage items too. But ultimately, they're not really the blade master. It did have a bit of a cancellation here. I'm not sure what it was. It might have been an Ancient of Wonders, but either way, it is going to be spotted by the priestess, who is going to chase it down with the searing arrows. But the wisp is going to spot the hunter's soul really early, so we might be having Huntress transition here. Sini does not actually detonate the the wisp, as it does die to the searing arrows plus archer attack, so might have not really expected that to kill. But regardless, Demon Hunter is going to get level 2, is going to pick up +3 strength and +3 armor.
I stand ready.
Second Ancient of War is going to pop down here, as it was kind of foretold by the early Hunter's Hole that we're going to have early Huntresses. I'm curious to see how this turns out later on, because I imagine both sides are just going to play the same army comps with double Ancient of Wars.
I stand ready.
As we do have the Hunter's Soul trying to match up with the completion of tier 2, as Sini does fast tech. Mana burn onto the priestess there is going to do a bit of damage, down to 240. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter at 450 is going to run away, maybe even pick up a TP staff. She does. I don't think Boots is available just quite yet. But yes, the Demon Hunter is going to be able to run away. Is going to spot the second Ancient of War. I'm not sure if Sini knows that this is the second one, but since it's so far out, I would imagine he would be able to just assume. Yes, Hunter Soul is about to be completed. Tier 2 a bit of ways from completion for Sini, maybe about, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Tier 2 also started out here for Colorful. What difference will this make? I'm not sure, but we are having a bunch of wisps moving out as well, so we are probably fast expanding on top of teching first. So
Your building is
This
complete.
might actually work out for Colorful, who knows.
I
Here comes
stand
Demon
ready.
Hunter to be a bit annoying once again. Ancient of War creeping on the bottom, the Overseer camp. Demon Hunter is probably not going to be able to stay. Could have maybe taken down the Priestess, but it was a bit risky sticking around. Is going to TP back and heal up with
Research
the
finished.
Moonwells. Tier 2 is about to be completed, and we
Upgrade
are about to
finished.
see
I
the
stand
Goblin
ready.
Tinkerer coming out as the second hero here. So since the Demon Hunter spotted the Mass
Our
Wisp moving
warriors have
on to the
engaged
side,
enemy.
he probably guessed that early expansion would be coming through for Colorful, so the Tinkerer gets picked up as second hero here. Acts as a pretty solid frontline as well as good sieging tool.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Even though the Clockwork Goblins aren't really that menacing, they're self-destruct as well as just being summoned
Research
units.
finished.
Makes it a pretty useful tool to actually siege with. Much more than, I guess, the Panda would in this particular matchup. So yeah, Demon Hunter still being annoying to the Priestess is going to drop her down to about 150 HP.
I
As
stand ready.
yeah, she has boots. She has plus 9 claws even. But it's not enough to peel the Demon Hunter off of you. More archers being added to the mix here. Remember that the archers have Elun's Grace, so they'll take
Our
a
warriors
reduced
have
damage from
engaged the
piercing,
enemy.
but it kind of gets
stand
counteracted
ready.
by the True Shot Aura from the Priestess.
Your
Expansion
building
probably
is
not going to be
complete.
force cancelled here. It's a little too late into its construction life.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy. Your building is complete.
Tinkerer farming out the Ogre Magi camp here is going to pick up the replenishment, so is most likely going to use that afterwards. TP Scroll coming in from Demon Hunter as the Priestess does a bit of harassing as well. Oh, does actually get the mana burn off, which is it's really important to get those off because that's a lot
stand
more
ready.
mana to use from the Moonwells. Yeah, and
Your building
the
is
efficiency
complete.
of mana
Our
burn is
warriors
just
have
a lot
engaged
higher.
the enemy.
Level 3 Tinkerer with level 2 Pocket Factory, I imagine this should be an ideal time to go for an attack, but remember, archers, dryads, piercings,
the
not that
great
great against
outdoors.
fortified. Plus you still have to worry about your opponent's army comp here, which primarily is just huntresses and maybe archers. We don't actually have that many archers for Colorful. Anyway, we are gonna have the Pocket Factory plop down there and gonna start wailing away against
the
that
great
Ancient of War. Army comp 49 for Sini, 42 for Colorful, and of course we are not counting the Clockwork Goblins, who, in addition to attacking with normal attack types, they can of course self-destruct when they time out or die. So you can see there that Colorful kind of prioritizing taking down that factory as quickly as possible. Wisps are going to get focus fired here as they are being pulled over to try and repair the Ancient of War. Priestess needs to be careful not to get bursted down by the Demon Hunter. Another mana burn is going to come through, and I think we're just going to devolve from sieging into just chasing down the enemy hero, who is being slow poisoned by those dryads, thankfully. But I think Colorful will be able to keep his priestess alive. 5 HP. There is going to TP Scroll, and thankfully does have a single Moonwell to heal off of. Demon Hunter is going to be focused right there, but an Invuln Potion, a full 15 Invuln Potion, is going to try and keep her on the front lines as long as possible. Pocket Factory gets focus fired once again as another Huntress is going to go down. Invuln is about to wear off as the Tinkerer is going to drop to 200 HP. Another Dryad is going to get traded for a lot more Huntresses. yeah, 50 supply for Colorful versus Sini's 46. Demon Hunter is going to heal up through the moon walls and TP Staff back into the front lines here. Archer is going to go down, and it kind of
Your building is complete.
looked pretty good for Sini. Able to take down a lot of Huntresses on the opponent's side there, but Colorful actually ends up with slightly higher supply than his opponent. Ancient of War, I think it went down, which is surprising. I think just a couple of Pocket Factories were enough to take it down without any wisp to be pulled off and repaired. The expansion is kind of dangerously low, which might be a bit of a problem here. Tinkerer down to 260, needs to be careful on that as well.
Your building is complete.
Sini is kind of losing a lot of his units, but I guess so is Colorful. We do have a Preservation Staff, and a TP Scroll is going to get transferred from the Demon Hunter, so Sini is going to retreat there. He actually ends up 46 supply versus his opponent's 47. Remember that these guys are still producing while all these fights are happening. Double Ancient of War versus Sini's 1, which it's understandable since Sini is mining off of 2 bases,
Research
but
finished.
this could go in Colorful's favor, because obviously he's mined a lot more gold than his opponent, who is only just starting to expand on the top left here. So I think Colorful will have mined about 2,000 to about 3,000 gold over his opponent. We'll see if that ends up being beneficial or not. +1 attack upgrades for the Huntresses and Archers are on the way. It does not apply to those Dryads, which is odd because Colorful has a pretty even mix between the two.
Ah, the great outdoors.
And he's still producing more Dryads as well. So yeah. Sini, on the other hand, is still producing off of one Ancient of Lore. He doesn't have as many Dryads as Archers, however, so there is a slight difference there. So he's trading in probably the better matchup unit over just having mobility as well as soul poison. Ogre is going to go down. The item is going to be the Pipe of Insight there, so the Brilliant Aura is available for the Red Night Elf player, which is not optimal. Obviously you would want something like the Fluid of Accuracy, maybe even Devotion Aura, or one of the movement speed auras there. But Brilliant Aura is not exactly useful in this particular army comp because only mana users aside from the heroes are a Triad, and against a Night Elf player you don't really need the mana for Abolish Magic. Tinkerer being a bit annoying, harassing with his Pocket Factory again. We'll be able to TP Staff out if since things kind of look dodgy. Possible expansion siege on the top left here, but we might have earlier siege attempt coming in from Sini. Now remember, it's still piercing damage. Sini does have access to the Pocket Factory, however, so he might have the slight advantage when it comes to siege damage. We also have Mountain Giants being added to the mix here on Sini's side. Pretty good tank. Good enough to soak up the damage from the Archers, maybe even the Dryads themselves. We do have a TP Scroll coming in from Colorful, as he, I don't think, was able to take down the expansion on the top left, but Sini is able to take down the expansion on the bottom right, is going to TP away as well, and that was a pretty good trade, despite Sini losing a couple of units on that TP clump. Being able to take down the expansion is super helpful. Only about 2,700 gold mined over, or wait, 2,700? Yeah, around 2,700 over his opponent, who's only about 1,000 on his gold mine. So this could actually look good. Tier 3 is also going to be done for Sini as well. Second Giant is coming in as just another clincher. we are having double ancient of lores as well as hardened skins, so that's going to make their resistance to the very little damaging attacks from the archers and dryads just a little bit more, well, little. Dryads spotting the archers here probably doesn't want to engage since archers kind of beat out on those dryads. And here comes the harassment on the expansion once again. Sini could defend this. He is actually going to be able to. Whether or not he can succeed is the better question.
Research finished.
Searing Arrow is doing a lot of damage to that Tree of Life. Here comes the Giants here. Taunt would be nice if we can do it. Hawk Factory is going to get placed down, but it is immediately going to get focus fired by the blue side here. Mana Drain onto the Priestess. So no more Searing Arrows for her. Taunts coming through from the Mountain Giants, the Archers versus Archers. It seems like the ones that have +2 upgrades as well as True Shot Aura are actually winning out. There's no real form of focus fire, I think, or at least not very noticeable from Sini's side. And Sini's gonna go down to 46 supply here. However, Colorful needs to be careful. He is at 36 despite having what seems to be the bigger army. Supply apparently is lying right now. I think it's because 8 of that supply is through those mountain giants. Here we go here, juggling up the taunt. Level 6 on the priestess, but since she's being mana burned constantly, we are not gonna have Starfall coming in anytime soon. Mountain Giant about to get taken out here, but Preservation Staff is available and is going to be able to save him. Priestess is getting focus fired here. No TP Scroll. TP Scroll is apparently on cooldown? Oh, never mind. I guess it isn't. If it wasn't, then maybe Colorful decided he was going to lose anyway since he's just so behind. He wasn't able to take down this expansion and he is a base down. If it was on cooldown, I have actually no idea why it was on cooldown. But other than that, Sini was able to take the victory. Very nicely done. Despite apparently having the idea that his orc is the more preferred into Night Elf matchups. Yeah, score, honestly, it didn't seem that close, despite me questioning whether or not the Giants were actually even worth it or not, but yeah, that is going to be that. I think Tinkerer actually takes the MVP here since, wow, his goblins did a lot of work, and that is going to be that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys again next time.